you know,
Speaking of Bacardi, I must issue an apology to the good people of Pretoria and everywhere else around the country. I think we spoke when Vusima 5 Rand passed away. I think we spoke a little bit about the genre of Bacardi. Yes. I think I compared it or even said it was a sub-genre of Amapiano.
Yeah.
And people in Pretoria were like, hey, my man, my man.
Sipo's mentions were blowing up.
Very, very technical. Do your goddamn research before you open your I said, okay. So apologies to the people, the supporters of Bacardi everywhere around the country, especially in Pretoria, for saying that it was a subgenre of Amapiano. Clearly, I was the one in the wrong. Guys, not Kimotuli hip hop, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to show love and understand even the genres that aren't number one on my list. You know what I'm saying. So that's why we speak about Amapiano on this show.
What up, though? Welcome to another hot episode of the POPcast. My name is Miss Cosmo, as I am every single week. I'm sure you missed looking at this face. Huh? Didn't you? I know you did. Of course, I don't roll solo. I am with my main man, Moochie for one, baby. What's
going on? What's going on, girl? I know you didn't miss this face. We back with the POPcast episode. I know last week we gave you guys POPcast Goes To.
Yes, you look like you had so much fun without me.
Yeah, let me tell you something. As soon as we got there, we're like, yeah, we're going to rock today. Yes. But it was a good time, man. Shout out to the people at Bacardi and to everybody showing love to those episodes.
Yes, man. And today we are joined by the one and only Sean Cross, who's with us today as a guest. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. How you guys doing?
We live in,
happy to have you. Happy to have you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And for today we are shooting out in Soweto. We're at Disofeng in Middlelands. So I'm sure if you have heard of the venue, you know how big and lavish it is. But come through. The food is dope. Yep. The vibes are dope. I was, playing out here over the weekend, so that just the energy was just so right. I said, yo, you know what? We need to come and shoot right here and show the people what's hot and happening in Soweto. And of course, if you're one of those promoters who just needs a bigger venue for you to do your thing, trust me. This is the spot, especially here in Soweto. So come through and check it out. As I mentioned, the food is dope. They've got so many things happening here. But
there's so many sections.
There is a hair salon on the one side. There is a pool on the other side. There's also a B&B on the one side. If you want to throw a kiddies party, there by the garden on the other side.
Hey, the Mokhodu one for the bambinos.
For the bambinos. So there's Mokhodu for the kids.
Mokhodu for the kids.
And then at 6 o'clock it's for the adults. There's a time limit. But come through, check it out. This whole thing in Soweto. All right, so with that, we are going to jump straight into what's been hot and happening this past week. And of course, we do have to kind of send our condolences to families that we've just lost 2 people this past week. One, of course, is Costa Titch when he was performing out at Ultra this past weekend, and Chef Lenswe as well, who we lost in the past 2 weeks as well. So condolences to both their families. It is very tragic, very sudden, very confusing, I think, for a lot of people, but our hearts and prayers are definitely with you.
Absolutely, man. Really, really deep condolences to both the families, Chef Lynn, so of course, who the family had said that he lost his life. I think he had a short illness. Didn't go into too much detail, but it was also seemed like something that was quite sudden. So shout out to all his friends and family. There's all people that I follow that I know were close to him. One being like Langa, of course.
Yeah.
Who, I think they had a relationship at some point, but of course you can see now that the emotions are very raw.
Yeah.
Having lost somebody that was so close to him. So condolences to him, to his family and his friends. With Costa as well, it's just, I mean, I don't think anyone has words anymore now to start describing what's happening to our young artists in this country. You know what I mean? 2 weeks after losing AKA, we lose Costa Titch again. And
It's a month, actually.
A month,
Yeah, it's
almost,
a month.
a month to the day.
Yeah.
Because it was the 11th on Sunday. So yeah, it's very difficult to understand. People, like, it seems more than just like death knocking at our door. You know what I'm saying? There just seems to be, it's a year later after we lost so many people that we've given shout outs to, or spoken about rather, from Dimples to Ricky.
Yeah.
The list is so long. And now here we are again, you know what I'm saying, in the space of a month, for somebody who's so young, so popping as well, Costa Titch. You know, I saw one of the guys, and you don't think about this, you know, if you're in your 30s like I am, and Nani, you don't think, you know, I think I'm going to go down here by myself. But I say that to say, Oguti, it's important to always realize just how much generations are moving and how much certain people mean to a certain generation. And I remember Major Steez, for example, when they will send their condolences to Costa, and mentioned that, you know, he was one of the pioneers of their generation. He was the guy who was doing it at the highest level, who's coming straight out of, you know what I'm saying, from generation. And then you realize just how much he means as a young leader in that. You remember when maybe AKAs and the Caspers were like 27, 28, how hot they were in the country. And then you start to realize the loss, how heavy it is for people in that generation to have lost Costa, who also, somebody else had said that, you know, took his long route to success. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the game for a minute as a dancer. You know what I'm saying? To the remodeling his entire image to try and not try, but to eventually be a successful artist, man. So it is a very, very, very emotional one, I think, for the industry.
Yeah, man. Sean, for you, I mean, obviously being a hip hop DJ and also understanding how it's a very difficult time for us to kind of be in the space where we're losing so many people. Did you have any sort of relationship with Costa or
not directly? I just knew everyone else around him, like Must Be Doves, Benny, Smokes.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I knew Costa. And also, like, we've been around the same spaces like for so long.
Yeah.
We're not still dancing for Casper. Like,
you used to dance?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Everybody used to dance.
Yeah, I used to dance. I used to be a dancer before I was a DJ.
Oh, hectic. I had no idea, if I have to be honest. But I guess it also kind of makes sense because, like you're mentioning, like for somebody like Costa who pioneered for people like Major Steez, also pioneered for a lot of people who came up under Costa. Because if I were to be very honest, I wouldn't have known certain artists if it wasn't for Costa using his brand to bring other people up, bringing up the likes of Must Be Dubs, bringing up people like Alpha Cat, you know, Banabatese, even Boozy Lee also at some point was also working.
And they just dropped a single.
Do you know what? They just dropped a song this past week, and he had actually just done a lot to say, I'm taking myself up, but I'm also bringing people with me. Phantom
Steez as well.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Phantom Steez, wouldn't have known him either. So it's one of those, like, his brand was also giving us other people that we're now paying attention to and feeding other families and giving people that notoriety. So it's really sad to lose somebody at such a young age, 27. It's shocking, if I have to be honest. And I think it's also just making us question, like, what is in the energy right now?
It is very, very tough to reconcile. And I think, I don't know, man. I think people are so confused that they're starting to just say whatever they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Which also I think like is wrong. One thing that I don't like, which I find strange anyway, is that of course all these names that we've spoken about, all these artists that we've lost in South Africa. You know what I'm saying? We can go for the most recent one, but we can take it as far back as you want. Over the last 30 years, all the big names that we've lost. And every time it seems now because of social media, when people pass, like people want to throw in the comments of, or this person passed, and then you want to add on to the fact that actually you actually didn't like their music, for example, or you didn't like their vibe or whatever. And I don't understand why that energy or why that is necessary for people to bring up certain things. There's many people who have passed who I can say I wasn't a fan of their music, but what does that matter when a person passes?
I mean, that's when they just passed on.
You know what I mean?
It's also gloomy right now, so you shouldn't be putting out that energy into that same spirit. You know?
Absolutely. So it's. I mean, we sit here and we speak about people's music every single week, and sometimes we like it, sometimes we don't like it, sometimes we vibe, sometimes we don't vibe, sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree. That's just the nature of the game. I feel like it's strange for right now for people to come out there and start attacking each other. I saw some weird things online of from as far back as as recently as AKA, and people want to go back and forth, and it's always the argument, when is this one going to say something about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's always very, very strange, and I feel like the internet, sometimes, guys, it's okay not to say anything.
Exactly. And also, people grieve differently.
Yeah.
I think we also need to kind of understand that you can't expect someone to react the way you want them to react to certain news or somebody passing away, whatever the case is. And that can be the case now with Costa, because obviously the week is going to go by. Everyone's going to be watching how people are going to say or do things or react. It happened even with AKA. It happened with Ricky. It happened with the DJ Dimples. DJ somebody, there was always like speculation, questions, what's happening, what's going on, when you don't like that person, you never did, ABCD. It's not even about that right now. Right now, what we can do is respect what has just happened, pay our respects to the family, and also just, send our condolences, and obviously just, keep them in our prayers and our hearts, because it's a very sensitive time. At the end of the day, he's still a human being, and that's what we need to kind of, pay attention to. And give that the energy that it deserves. But again, condolences to both families, Chef Lenswe as well as to Costa Titch. May their souls rest in peace. And I think their memories will always kind of live with everybody, because they impacted a lot of lives at the times that they were here. All right, so moving on to other things that are kind of shifting and moving around right now. I saw this past week that My Easy Does It, Just Beggy, and Mr. X have now announced that they are leaving SKHANDA World and UMG.
Right.
And this news is obviously off the back of whatever is possibly happening or not happening for them at their label. And it also kind of got me questioning whether we think, and I know we've had this conversation tirelessly here on the POPcast about whether you sign to a label, whether you don't sign to a label. But do you think it was a good decision for them to sign, and now they're saying, you know what, it's not working for me, I'm pulling out?
Well, I don't know. For Mr. X, I don't think it's a good decision to leave right now, because I feel like the whole SKHANDA thing starting, and then because of the first single that came out of the whole camp was with DJ Mr. X, right?
Yeah, Asambe, yeah.
So I think for us in the South specifically,
yeah,
when we were seeing SKHANDA, was seeing Mr. X is like, okay, there's the guy,
Yeah.
But I think for all the other guys, I think for My E, it was good for him to bring him back in the game.
Yeah.
To also introduce the new guys, because I think like when they were doing the whole Cash Time thing, it kind of, I don't know. Maybe
it was tricking, yeah.
But I think with the new kids, because like they were still hungry, so they could push them more.
Yeah.
So that made sense in my eyes. But I don't know why did it go off Just Big,
Maybe it was a decision of his. Maybe he also was just like, you know what, I don't know if they let him go, but maybe he also just decided the situation is not for me right now. What it sounded like is that it was an amicable decision for them to kind of part ways. But yeah. Yeah,
very interesting. Considering we spent, I think, a lot of last year really bigging up and looking at the moves that SKHANDA was making. We've spoken to a lot of the guys in the crew, spoken to their energy, spoken to how that helped KO himself find new energy and reestablish himself, I'm saying, as one of the GOATs in the game. And all those young guys that were, like you're just saying, they were so hungry to be around there, that their work ethic was very dope. They were dropping music all the time. And it made sense for them to be behind the Mai's and the KOs as the guys who've been here for a long time, learn, get that energy and move forward with it. And I thought that would last longer than just right now.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Loki and Roy are still there.
Sure, and that's what I'm saying. We know not everyone has left. So whatever the reasons may be, I'm not sure if they've gone into much detail as to why people are leaving. Mai personally, I feel like it's probably best for him
Okay.
to leave. You know what I'm saying? With the young dudes, I guess maybe you'd feel like I guess now I can push my own energy. Perhaps being in that group situation, you don't feel like you're standing out. You feel like, you know what I'm saying, you've gotten enough. You would like to hustle on your own. I can get that. But my E specifically, I feel like he's been in the game for a very long time. I don't think he'll ever outshine KO in the same camp. And I feel like it's always going to be the comparison. Now, you have KO and my E who've been in the game for as long as we've known them both. You know what I'm saying? There's never been a time where you knew my E first or KO. They came in as tear gas.
Yeah.
So I feel like he needs to establish my E's own identity. His own move, you know what I'm saying? I think it's always good to say, KO's my bro, and we've been rocking for this long and been through a lot together. But on the music side, I think it's best, for him to really, I don't know what to call it, not a Grootman vibe, but you know, you're in a different space in terms of like how you want to move.
He needs to quickly channels.
You know what I'm saying? You need to find that own identity where people, when they think about my E, they think about my E as an individual. You know, as an older nigga who's been in the game for a long time, but who's still able to, like, you know, make the kind of music that he really wants to make. I think maybe moving away from the group and really saying, I'm going to do this by myself, own producers, own team. I think will work better for him in terms of like having his own type of identity. Personally, I feel like it's dope. For the other guys, I mean, they're still young, so they'll be here for a while. So whether we think it's a good or bad decision, I think it'll just be a teachable moment at the end of the day where they can look back and say, I rocked a little bit and then I rode by myself, and then this is where the journey can take me. Because we don't know what moves they're going to make yet, right? Everything else is still ahead of them. Whereas my E is like, he's already done so much that now it's about maintaining your OG status, you know what I'm saying, and still being able to like eat off your own legacy without having to pop. You want to be that age, you want to be an older guy who's trying to pop. You want to be able to just do exactly what you want to do. I feel like maybe being surrounded by the youngins, he might find himself now in features in those pockets.
What's wrong with being an older guy trying to pop?
No, I don't think as an older guy you want to pop because you've popped. You know what I'm saying? Because
Are you saying you can't reignite the flame?
No, you can maintain your OG status and still be a respectable artist. But for example, like Jay-Z's not trying to pop.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. He's not trying to pop. He's not trying to be in your face everywhere you go. You see Jay-Z. He already know who he is.
Like KO is still trying to pop right now.
Yeah, but I think KO popped by mistake, though. You know what I'm saying? I think KO was trying to stay in the game, and then like he popped.
It just happened.
It just happened. I don't know if he was trying to. I feel like I don't think KO was at home saying I want to relive, because he said something very interesting when he was talking about celebrating Sete. He said, I thought that I had reached my pinnacle of South African hip hop with Karakara, and I'd accepted that. That was my biggest moment, and everything else was going to be, you know what I'm saying, not like unsuccessful, but I'll never have that type of energy that I had with Karakara. That was my moment. Now it's about, you know what I'm saying, I can just always eat off that, maintain, I can release music, I can be a touring artist, I can eat and still live a good life. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to like compete and try to be the number one, you know what I'm saying, single. Is what I'm saying. He said it himself. And then Sete happened. And then now he finds himself again having the hottest, and it's outdid Karakara. A lot of people, especially in the South African context, they don't have those seasons where they keep having the number one songs over and over like a 15, 20 year period. You know what I'm saying? We know guys can pop over a certain period of time and probably just, you know what I'm saying, mellow out and still have like a dope career. So I think it happened by mistake. I don't think he was going into studio saying, I want to make another Karakara, because in his mind, he was like, I probably will never have to do that. So let me just have fun and let me do my own thing. And then, bam, you land upon something like that. You can't name a lot of guys in the industry who've had moments like, you know what I'm saying? There's very few oaks that you can think about who can consistent, especially after so long. It's one thing when you're hot right now and maybe you have like a 5, 6, 7 year run of like, you know what I'm saying?
But I also don't think KO has to try too hard, because his style is very different from everyone else in general. So
no, of course.
So he can do whatever and it will land properly.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of guys that can do that. So you have guys like we've spoken about AKA, and guys like he's been in the game for a long time. There's mainstays. But Casper can do whatever he wants. He will always have hits and always be able. KO is again one of those guys. But there's not a long list of hip hop guys. There's a lot of hip hop artists who've been in the game for a very long time, who had a little bit of a season, but now
they don't have longevity.
They don't have the certain longevity that the other guys have. So with my E, I feel like after we've known him for this long, so it's like, what are we expecting him to do after 20 years? We want him to go after popping, or maybe he can still try and find his sound and maintain. People already know who he is, right? And they already have respect for my E in the game. So I think, and he's never been a guy anyway who was chasing hits, even when he was making his own singles, but he was always made music that, you know.
What I like about my E is that he's also got a certain, like you mentioned, he's got a certain pocket that he can kind of fit into. And like when people call my E for a feature, they're calling him because they want that pocket. They want that thing that he can bring out in a song that you wouldn't necessarily get from anybody else. He's got like a specific sound that'll give you that South African authentic rough feel that you just want to hear in a specific song. You know what I mean? So I think I need him to do a little bit more features like that. Obviously keep on touring. Like you said, he needs to kind of, grown man this thing and figure out where he sits. But even the conversation we had with him on Pop Radio, where I suggested to him he needs to get back into acting, I think that would be like the next level of, okay, we're in the new season now of My Easy Does It, because he's doing other things now and he's doing it bigger in a better space.
Absolutely, man. It's like, again, you said, when I mentioned my E, you mentioned Kulichana and said finding your way into that type of pocket. Look at what Kuli also has able to build for himself. You know what I'm saying? He's not just a rapper. You seeing some business values from him come through. You know what I'm saying? You see him, you even respect him just as a family man at the same time.
Exactly.
But everything is like a brand, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? You put this thing forward and you're able to maintain yourself for all these years. And Kuli can be quiet for a while and still come back, drop an album and that shit. But he's not trying to make a number one song, whatever. That's what I want people to get away from. I think we pay too much attention to hits. You know what I'm saying? To the hottest thing that's happening right now, and we think everything else is cold. And that's what I'm trying to say. When I speak about my I say out of respect. Just because you don't have the number one song doesn't mean you're not the guy. Exactly. It doesn't mean that you're not working, that you're not contributing to the game, that you're not making money. You know what I mean? We pay attention and we look like whose song is at the top and who's the most spoken about online. And then we like, these three guys are the only ones that matter. But that's not true.
That's not true, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 100%. DJs everywhere across the board. You know what I'm saying? You could be doing your own gigs every time. You're working, you're pushing out. But just because you're not the most spoken about DJs, like, yeah, but I'm working.
As long as you can pay the bills, bro. You
know what I'm saying? You can pay the bills, but also you're contributing. Because this industry is about giving. You know what I'm saying? 100%. You're not just playing just to play. You're giving to your art. You're giving to everywhere that you go. You're making a name for yourself.
There's so much to do.
There's so much to do, guys. Instead of concentrating on just being the hottest person in the world. Because I feel like that's a different type of energy. When you come out and you say, I want to be the next Drake, it's a different type of work ethic and direction that you must take if you want to be that guy.
Yeah, but being a Drake, I mean, come on. Everybody understands that you need to also know your lane and you need to know what you're capable of and what you can and what you can't do. And that's why I'm saying some re-energizing can happen in different spaces. Kulichana with the business side, I think my E could do really well if he were to get into acting, but that's my personal opinion, which I think he agrees to as well because he had said it in the interview. But with the guys, as you mentioned, DJ Mr. X, still a very busy DJ. I think he'll still be able to do what he does and run his race. Just Biggie, I was hoping to hear a little bit more from him. I was hoping to see a little bit more from him. But, hey, man, maybe he knows the decision that he's taking and where it's going to take him. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. I hope he stays around, though.
Yeah.
Like, like a lot of people, when they leave like a record label situation, like Just Biggie didn't like pop all the way. So like especially like when the record label thing fades out, like also niggas also fade out as well.
Yeah, they lose steam.
They lose steam because like now there's no more machine behind them. So it's like they start losing steam. So I hope that doesn't happen to him.
Yeah, man. My brother, please keep pushing. We want to hear more because also he's also got a specific sound that not a lot of people have. So pay attention to what you're doing and keep on pushing. It will work in the way that it needs to work. Talking about label drama, and management drama in this specific instance is also Luna Florentino and The Exclusive apparently are getting sued by their management company. Usually it's the other way around, where the artist says, pay me my money. I've given you everything. This time the management is like, nah, B, y'all gotta pay up. What are they paying for? I still don't understand the situation.
What are
they?
Management collecting the coins to start with? Because like, how did they find themselves in a situation where they have to own the management company like that?
How?
Like, especially like, you see, like maybe they were like, because they were doing like the whole, getting them, they just putting the money in them, right? So they invested all that money. So I'm saying in the returns, wasn't the management company supposed to then collect the coins and then give the niggas what's left from what they're trying to recoup, or maybe put them on a salary, maybe?
That's technically what's supposed to happen. So if I'm a label and I've invested money into you as an artist, typically what happens, and I say typically because it's not always the case, typically what happens is that the money that you make off of gigs or whatever the case is, campaigns, gigs, sync deals, whatever, will then come to me as the manager. I take my 20% and then I give you the balance. That's technically how it's supposed to work with very blanket relationships. Obviously, different situations are different. Other people, maybe you take 50%. Other people take however many percent. But if I'm going to recoup my money that I've invested, then I'm gonna invoice with my bank details. Which is why most artists complain. They say hang for Maliam because that's the situation.
Yeah.
I don't understand in this situation how the management is saying because does this mean that when Luna and them are having gigs, the money is going to them and it's not paying to the management?
It's a very tricky situation to to try and understand what's going on, but I feel like it's one of those where it's an unfortunate thing. Well, no, we're saying off camera, you have these two dudes who's are yet to pop. You know what I'm saying? They're yet to be very frequently booked, you know, to have music that's selling out here in the streets. So as artists, they would known Dean for quite some time. He was on the show.
He was
The Exclusive. What show was that?
Was it Big Brother? The Exclusive.
The rap show.
The rap show.
On Vuzu.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
He was on the rap show with Vuzi. That's where we get him from. I don't know if he was on the same season as Big Star or...
Yes, I think on
What
the
was it?
Hustle.
Yeah, no, the Hustle. They're doing 2 different seasons.
Yeah.
two different seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Star was the first season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Big Star won the first season. So you have The Exclusive, who's been in the game for a while, you know what I'm saying, as a guy who was supposed to, you know what I'm saying, take that opportunity and run with it. So I can understand the fact that the coins haven't been coming in the way that he probably was. Like, you know what I'm saying, his career is still bubbling under. You know, he hasn't had his moment yet. And we know how these things go. Sometimes it can happen immediately for you. Sometimes it can happen forever. Who knows? You know what I mean? No one can tell. You have to just stick with it and hope that one day your moment comes. And I feel like that type of situation is a situation where people invest in you. You know what I'm saying? Like the label and management, I kind of have this relationship with you. They're like, we see the talent and I think we're going to try and maybe, you know, back this guy.
Yeah.
Back these guys and try and do for them by fronting them the cash that they obviously don't have, in hopes that their deal, I think, is structured in a way will get this money back once they start getting a little bit more of those bookings, making more music, making more moves that bring some coins in. So I think it's one of those situations where perhaps there was an agreement that was set, maybe even a time limit. And sometimes people can say, okay, we're gonna try this out for 18 months, for 2 years, and see how it goes. After this time, we need to come back to the table and say, what have we achieved?
Yeah.
Who's been able to do? So I think people not sticking to their ends of the deal and things not popping off, saying, if by this date, and if you sign something like that, if I invest X amount in you and it doesn't start to pay dividends, I'm gonna need my money back somehow or whatever. So if they signed that agreement,
But I also think it was also a tricky one from the management, because like when they saw, I think there was 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
It was Una, nah?
Oh, Una Rams, ne?
Yeah.
No, it's the Nalingi. What's his name? The guy that sings Nalingi.
Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Forgot his name. I'll remember just
Manuel
now.
Star.
Manuel Star.
Yes.
Yes.
I think when they saw Manuel Star pop off, they were like, okay, we can still push you guys.
yeah.
And then they invested more money, but it didn't happen because that's after Nalingi dropped. I think that's when D dropped his album.
Yeah.
Ooh, so it overshadowed a little
I
bit.
think so, because like now they're in the same group and now they're also touring with Manu. So like now I don't know how it did not help, but it just because also Manu also switched sounds as well,
Yeah.
because he was in rap,
Yeah.
and then he went Afro pop.
Yeah.
But that's also what helped him pop.
That's
Was
what
the fact
happened.
that he went into Afro beats vibe, and Nalinge I think kind of took him to a different type of space, and he needed to do that.
Yeah.
But when speaking to him, because I remember I asked him about this, I was like, okay, but you were rapping, like this was your vibe. He's like, no, if you check my catalog, I've got a lot of songs where I'm singing, but then people knew me for the rap because that was the team I was running with and the people that I was with. So that's why you would think he was a rapper first before he gets into the Afro soul type of vibe. But he went into that pocket because that is an artist that is a sound that he enjoys doing, and it worked at that point in time. You know, so you can't be mad that you switch it up and then something happens for you. The same thing happened to KO. He switched it up and then look at Sete. You know what I mean? So the guys needed to look at that and say, okay, what are we not doing right?
100%.
And let's see if we can maneuver this thing to work in our favor.
Yeah, man. It's tricky as to how they found themselves in this situation. But I think it's probably just on a basic level, just a situation of money being fronted,
But
investment
being sued.
investment being made, promises having been agreed to, that falling apart. Maybe another theory or another thing could have been like you're saying, or like you were saying actually, Miss Cosmo, is that maybe there was a situation where money was supposed to come directly to them when they were doing gigs, when they were collaborating, when maybe whatever money that they were making, that maybe they withheld some cash instead of sharing it with the with the management. Maybe that might be part of it. But I feel like this is one of those situations where it might be a little bit of that, but most likely just these guys investing so much and not feeling like they got anything out. And if there's suing happening, then maybe there's some bitterness. There's always, you know what I'm saying? There's some bitterness attached to suing. Because you don't sue somebody just because things didn't work out, right?
Exactly. If you're taking a legal route, something happened.
Yeah, and who you take a legal route against people who maybe you're saying that were saying don't have money or the ability to pay you back. So I feel like maybe there's a situation or two where maybe some money was being held back or people just didn't do right. They did the promise that was made that wasn't lived up to.
Yeah.
And that's the reason that people are like, okay, we agreed on something and I see that you're not going to come to the party with this, so now I gotta take the legal route. That's usually how it happens, because I don't think no one takes any sort of joy. If I knew they don't have cash, what's the point of me suing you? I might wait until you have money to come back and be like,
come collect,
right? Come collect, right? So if I'm being bitter, even if I don't know you don't have money, then I'm just punishing now.
Yeah, it's tricky. Talking about taking the legal route on certain things, the law finally came to fetch somebody who needed to get their mouth kind of shut for 60 days. And I think it's one of those ones where everyone's just been like, yo, sapumula for 60 days. Yo.
Twitter's been quiet.
Yeah. Justice prevailed for 60 days.
Twitter's been quiet. And of course, I don't think we even have to say who it is. If you're watching at home, then you know exactly.
Then you know.
The number one podcast tour of Mzansi.
Yeah, not on this podcast though. Nota Baloy has been arrested for 60 days for contempt of court. He didn't arrive on a date that was set out for him. And because of that, he's being punished. Like every other citizen, mind you. It's not like he's being targeted. Like any other citizen,
for example,
if you decide not to come to court, the court can say, oh, but you are now disrespecting us. This is our time. This is our money. We're going to punish you so that you learn not to do this again and arrive when we ask you to arrive.
And of course,
you see the other side.
Yeah, you can't just go around accusing people and they tell you, hey man, stop telling me that I'm involved in a murder. You know what I mean? Like, this is not like something casual. Like, this is the thing that I'm talking about at the internet. We become so desensitized to what the fuck we're saying online.
And you think there's no rules.
Everyone just thinks they can say whatever the fuck they want and there's literally zero consequences. Fuck that. You know what I mean? You can't casually accuse me of murder and it's like a Tuesday afternoon and everything is just chilling and everyone is just like, who knows? Maybe people did kill Miss Cosmo. Anyway, how's your day going? Motherfucker, what? Have you lost your mind? You know what I mean? And when I tell you, hey man, maybe don't go around telling people that I'm involved in a murder.
Yeah.
I would like you
to. That's all the way at the top now. Murder.
Dude.
No.
So we've become so desensitized with this. And I see everyone on this energy, you know, want justice for AKA, want justice for all the other citizens that are so robbed of their lives or their possessions. You know what I'm saying? We live in a crime-ridden country. It's out of control. There's so much to complain about. And then you just go, you in the corner there. I suspect
you. Come this
not even a little bit. Like, I suspect you hard. And I'm making threads and I'm live on Instagram it's just grow the fuck up, man.
I ended up unfollowing him. So half of the stuff you guys are mentioning, I probably don't even know because I unfollowed him on purpose because I just couldn't handle the noise.
I just couldn't watch.
Were you still following him?
I've never followed him.
I can't.
I just keep seeing it because like now I have little siblings and like they keep asking me like, did this happen for real? Like, because they see the spaces I'm in, it's like, did it really happen? Is it your friends? I'm like, no, dog. This guy is just talking out of his butthole, bro.
Yeah,
so it's ridiculous. And when I see mutuals, people that I think have some sense, following and retweeting and getting involved with that, I'm just thinking
that's the painful part.
That's the part when I look at people that I know, I'm just like, what are you doing here?
Why are you retweeting?
What are you doing
like,
here?
That was so confusing, bro. I was like, why are you here? You know the story as well. So like, why are you here?
So it's become the way to think, and now this is part of it. This is the world we live in now. We're just in conspiracy theory hell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Deep in the fucking mud of it every single day. Nobody thinks about how the things that they're saying impact other people. You know, families are mourning and everyone just wants to say, yeah, actually, there's a bigger picture out here. And it's fine. You don't sound like a crime champion who's trying to fight it and saying, because I'm fighting crime, you know, I'm going to hurt some people's feelings. You're not, though. You're not fighting crime. You're not trying to get to the bottom of anything. You're not investigating anything. You're just on the internet being a bitch-ass nigga.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Busy there with your QWERTY keyboard.
I also think, like, we're in a hell of a clickbait era right now.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy. Like, people just want to post for post's sake and just say whatever. Like,
do you find that you've also kind of, like, decreased the amount of tweets that you put out because it's just weird now.
It's just weird now. It's so weird.
100%.
Like you can't even do anything right now unless it's clickbait material.
Yeah.
So like everything you do right now has to be clickbait material. Like,
I can't
It's the
do that.
strangest thing. I've gotten to a point like on Twitter that I just talk to my friends.
yeah.
Everyone else is just dangerous.
Yes.
Bro, you're dangerous.
Half the
I
time,
don't know.
I'm just laughing at things. I just laugh at jokes.
Absolutely.
So all my tweets, it'll be a laughing emoji, or maybe I'm replying to one of my friends. I can be spicy to my friends because it's fine, they get me. But I'm not saying any spice to anybody I don't know. I'm not tweeting like thought pieces and like 5 tweets after each. It's not happening
Like,
because you
even if
guys
it's
just
a
don't
thought
get it.
piece, dog. Like anything positive just doesn't go through on Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
Dog. There's like you can post something positive, like it won't go through.
Absolutely. I would rather go watch a TikTok and laugh by myself. I will go Instagram. People are way more sensible for some reason on Instagram because they don't get the attention that they get on Twitter.
100%.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People, even in the comment section of Instagram, people could be swearing at you, but it's just like, it's like you're alone there. Just rapping. You know what I mean? You look lonely. Like swearing in the comment section or whatever on Instagram. So spend more time there. At the end of the day, I say it's very important to people are trying to bring some shit out of you. It's very important for you to do things that you're very comfortable with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm so uncomfortable with a lot of things that are happening. It's just not worth it. I am a person who's very loud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And very opinionated, and I talk a lot of shit. And I've been talking a lot of shit on Twitter for many, many years. You know what I'm saying?
Have you
and
learned your lesson?
half the time I don't care. It's not about learning a lesson. It's about it's not fun anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember when it was fun, where you could say something and it was stupid, and people would realize that you're saying something stupid and treat it as something stupid
And
move on and laugh or whatever. But now everybody's a warrior who's trying to get to the bottom of something. We're trying to say, what do you mean by that, brother? You know what I'm saying? What do you mean by that, brother?
Coming with agendas.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
too
So
serious.
I sat there and I asked myself, like, half the time, just like, me personally, I'm quite happy being silly with my friends in private conversations.
Yeah.
And also, a lot of people now, I like that there's Twitter, close friends.
Yeah.
I'm saying a lot of my friends were being silly in Twitter close friends. Half the time, I ask myself, is it worth it for me personally to say exactly the silly thing that I want to say on Twitter right now and how far I could go? Am I happy to do that and still be like, well, fuck these motherfuckers?
Yeah.
Half the time, I'm just like, well, it's just not worth it. I can say the exact same thing. I'll put it on my Instagram story and then people can really enjoy for 5 minutes, whatever that side. But at some point, you just ask yourself, what am I getting involved for here sometimes?
It's tricky, Yana. But I think Notice learned his lesson not to say things
I don't think he's learned anything at all.
I hope he does. One thing I'm worried about is that he's gonna come out feeling like a freedom fighter, like he's out there
100%.
fighting for for justice. No, my brother.
He's gonna be swearing at us, no problem.
You were-
He was in our comment section online swearing at us.
It's just contempt of court, my brother. You were wrong, and you got punished for it.
He's gonna come out a hero on this one.
Simple.
He's
as
not
plain.
going to learn a single lesson.
He's gonna come out a hero on this.
We can only hope. We can only hope. I mean,
When you're in a destructive path like this, maybe jail can slow you down, but only a longer jail sentence. You know what I'm saying? So you get yourself into trouble with things like this. That's kind of how it goes. You know what I'm saying? You start believing the hype.
Yeah.
You start thinking that you're bulletproof. You start saying, yeah, man, actually, I can say whatever I want. And then it's like, yeah, you go, Nata. And then it starts with 60 days. Yeah, once they hit you with the other one.
Yeah, now it's tough.
You would think you would have learned after losing the case with Shimza because he had to pay him.
He had to pay Shimza, yeah.
He had to because he got sued. That was also like a legal matter. So do you not learn that at some point you're going to be the one on the other side of the situation? But anyway, we've given him enough energy, enough time on this podcast. I think when he eventually sees this after 60 days, hey, my brother, I hope you're a better man. Okay? People who are doing bigger and better in South Africa right now are some of our artists who are filling up arenas. One such person is PABI Cooper, who hosted an event out at the Sunbet Arena, the youngest person in South Africa in history to host an event at that venue. And people were giving her like a little bit of flack around like the way she did her performance. She was doing too much. She came flying in, whatever. And I'm like, yo, but the whole point of a show like that is that you need to do more. You can't perform the same way you're performing at a venue or like at the club, the same way you're going to perform at Sunbent Arena. It's not the same thing. You have to do something extra. No?
100%.
Man, okay, you can go first. Sorry.
No, because like I think she did a good job, man. Like also like people giving her flag for that. It's like, dog, she's putting on a good show.
Yeah,
like,
she's
putting on
trying.
a show, dog. Like you must also look at niggas like overseas when they do shows like that. Like they trying to like, I'm performing over you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see everybody. That's why she's flying over you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But I'm very proud for her. You get me?
Yeah.
So, cause like she did Zone 6 and she packed it up, and not everyone could get in.
That was dope.
Yeah, so this one is like double her numbers on the show, so it's like crazy.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy, man. It's a big achievement for her just to want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I think it starts there first and foremost, because we cannot sit here every day and then say we want more from our artists. Want more. I want you to do more. Be. You know what I'm saying? Be a more diverse, versatile artist. Don't just do one thing. Hit us with the merch. Hit us with the tours. Hit us with the. You know what I'm saying? Hit us with the teamwork.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then hit us with the shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We'll take your show from here to here to here to here. You know, but Black Coffee, all of them started doing shows. Exactly where every DJ starts doing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's probably somewhere, some back alley somewhere, and then you grow up to where is Black Coffee doing now? He's saying Madison Square Garden, let's go.
Amen.
You know what I mean? Where did Casper start doing shows in high school or whatever? And then one day he said the Dome, let's go. And it's been, you know what I'm saying? He hasn't looked back since. And we back these things because we want to say congratulations, but also people want to let the jokes fly. So they'll be like, oh, what are you doing, Sunbed? All right, cool. Let's see how that goes for you. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, it's like, oh, how dare you think you could sell out Sunbed? You know, you have a 50%.
So rude.
Of course, it's rude. You know what I'm saying? That's what our energies, we're going back to the same thing. Everybody wants to be the guy online who's trending for the, I made the biggest joke of the fact that this person was, and look, I'm saying, unfortunately, the internet will never die, so the jokes will always fly. Like Papi Cooper at Sunbed, the jokes will fly. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately. That's the risk you take when you do these things. When it flops, you know, people are going to be there going, what were you thinking? But can you imagine the amount of lessons you learn at that age about doing something like this?
100%.
It's I don't want to call it a flop because I don't know what the numbers are like. But yeah, Shop, we could see on the picture, it's not a sold-out event. You know what I'm saying?
But even then, like I think, like Sean said, she doubled her numbers.
Yeah. Of
Because
course.
Zone 6 takes about 3,000 people.
Yeah.
If you've grown from 3,000 to 6,000, yes, it's not the capacity of the 10,000 at Sunbed, but wow, 6,000 is a lot of people. Can
Exactly.
you, as somebody who's busy tweeting, fill up an arena with 6,000 people?
Of course they can't. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to make fun of. And you know, sometimes the jokes could be light. It could be, if it's about maybe the performance itself, it's something else. So if you sell out the venue and then your performance maybe is pop, then it's like, but my guy also take care of that other thing on the other side. But I don't know how the performance was because everyone who was there says it was pretty dope or whatnot. But in attacking her for wanting to sell out Sunbed, I mean, that's just, that's too whack for us as a country to do when we want artists to have the type of energy. We don't want to have one artist who can sell out a venue.
Exactly.
Because as a country, we should be embarrassed.
Exactly.
we could have one artist, if just a handful of artists, considering how musical this country is.
Yeah.
And then it must be a handful of people who can call up on their fans and then sell it out. We should be embarrassed that we don't show more support to all the people that we claim to support and love. If you're not a Papi Cooper fan, that's fine. But who shows are you showing up for, okay? On your artist, you know what I'm saying? Because they're waiting for you to give them that energy so they can also say, oh, I think I should book this thing because my fans are right there. And we like that energy, which doesn't make sense, again, for a country that's as musical obsessed as we are. Festivals should be a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Sellout events should be a dime a dozen. Our artists should be eating of these things and we should be supporting, you know what I'm saying, and encouraging people to say, yeah, the next guy must go. That's the reason why a lot of people don't do it. It's fear of failure.
Yeah.
A lot of artists want to do these things.
Because a lot of people also try to motivate AKA to like go do the Dome, dog.
Yes.
Like, yo, go do it, dog, because we'll come.
Yeah.
And AKA could have done it.
You could have
Really
done
There was
it.
a time where I was thinking, I don't know, back then.
Yeah.
But after a while, I was like, okay, now you can do it.
Yeah.
And I think, especially after his death, like you sit back and you listen to the catalog, you're like, this guy could have done like an hour and a half show and we would have been singing along to everything. Through everything, just on the features alone is a lot. Then the performance and his albums alone also would have been a lot. The collaborative albums that he did, I think, would have been great. But you know, I mean, it's difficult to kind of have the conversation now. But I say shout outs to Pabi for actually having the vision. And she's young, like you said. She's what, 21?
22.
22, ne? She's young enough to make whatever mistakes that she did for the event not selling out, but she still did well because she had 6,000 people be there. People also don't understand this thing is not easy for you to market. And what I appreciated when I saw on social media was the fact that she was in people's faces trying to sell this thing. Because sometimes people want to host an event and they say, just post a flyer, it's going to be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. No one's going to see it, number one. Number two, you can't just rely on the internet alone. You need to be, marketing is about everything encompassing. And what I liked about PABI is that she was out there handing out the flyers herself.
She was interacting with the people.
Yeah, she was interacting with the people. She was giving away tickets. She was doing prizes. She was doing so many things to give awareness to this event. Because normally when events like that happen, you don't see the actual person saying, here's a flyer. They hire a flyer company and then you just see the flyer on your car after a concert or wherever the hell you're coming from. PABI herself was on the street and she was like, yo guys, come to my show. I want you guys to come support me. This is what we're doing at intersections, making sure that people felt the energy. Like, you know what, because I saw her give me the flyer, I'm gonna want to come.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing I saw other people talking about online, saying that they didn't see her marketed as hard as they think she should have. And I feel like maybe there could be a little bit some truth to that. Like, she put in work, but I think the results that she got let her know just how much more work it takes. That's what I'm saying. The lessons to be learned are there for you, lady in black and white. Okay, so I did this much, and I could only manage this much. So where did I go wrong here? Was it the amount of time I gave myself to promote? You know what I'm saying? Like, did I start 3 months too late, or what type of situation? So now you start thinking, we were able to sell X amount of tickets with this much effort over this amount of time, while I was doing this well as an artist. All that thing is data that you take with you and you're like, sharp, we're able to do something. We know that. But now when we do it next time, I promise you we're not going to make any mistakes.
Take it to the top, my
She's
sister.
like, she's sitting there, she's like, I'm going to come back at this venue and I'm going to sell it out proper. You know what I'm saying? There won't be a seat left in this situation. And I know now for sure I can promise myself that, because I was able to meet it at 60, 70%. Now I know what it takes to fill that other gap up, to take it to the top even more. And now what does the whole country talk about now? Bobby Cooper is an artist who's trying to sell out Sunbed Arena. So that even in its flop, or in its the fact that it wasn't 100% sold out, was marketing in itself.
Yeah.
Because here we are talking about it, right? Here everybody else in the country was talking about online. At least it's reaching the streets, and people are like, "What was happening at this place?" If you didn't know about it, you're like, "Oh, I do like Bobby Cooper, but I don't know why that place didn't grip me." Maybe sometimes you're out of town and you're thinking, "I don't know if this one was gonna pop that way."
Yeah.
Whatever doubts that you have, now she's in your face and she's like, "Okay, next time I'm gonna get you."
And like you said, there's different lessons to learn. It could have been a date thing, because March is also just after January, February, where people are still trying to gather themselves. So it could have been a timing thing. But as Sipo's saying, we're supporting you. The next one, you've done the marketing. We're gonna try and see. We're gonna want to be there, because people also want to go there physically to say, let's see how this one goes. 10,000 other people are also going to say, let's see how this one goes, and they're going to be there and fill it up. So shout outs, man. People who also want to see an artist who's going to take it to the top is, of course, Black Coffee, as you mentioned. He had done a show, and he got on the mic and he was like, you know what? The next time we do this, the next time we take it to the top, we're going to the garden. And everybody was just mad, going crazy over it, because they understand the magnitude that you have to be at to fill up a place like that. That's 20,000 capacity. 20,000 people capacity at the garden. Now, because here in South Africa, we know he can fill up 20,000 because he did it at the Dome. But that's 20,000 in a completely different area.
Foreign soil.
Foreign soil.
And not just any foreign soil as a dance artist, New York.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm saying, for dance artists is not
Yeah.
America in general. Like, you think anywhere in Europe would have been the place
Yeah.
where he would do something like that. But to be an artist who can back himself to go sell out, in America, the most famous venue on the planet, then it's a statement.
It is a statement. And like you're mentioning, for New York, it's also different, because New York is hip-hop heavy. It would be a different story if it was one of the other towns. Maybe if he was going to like Miami, or if he was going to LA. There's a bigger dance culture in those cities than there is in New York. New York is heavy on the hip-hop. So I'm excited. I think everybody, any South African who possibly has the money, is probably going to try and go there to also go and see how it's going to turn out, because South Africans like to do too much. But I say shout out, book your flights, go and support Black Coffee, because he needs it. And of course, I just want to see how the rest of America is going to gather and support him the way that they do. But he's had like countless big shows in the States that have done really well. So I think this is definitely something that's achievable,
Yeah, are you guys booking tickets?
Fun show crossing the South. Come on.
You want to go to New York and hear, what did Kabza say?
I'm very stoked about it though. Like, I think Black Coffee can do it, because like going through his social media the whole time he's been in America, like it's been crazy because like he's getting support from everybody, the hip hop heads, the R&B people, like houses, so it's not just the house people that are supporting him that side. He's getting support from the hip hop side as well. So it's very beautiful to see.
No, absolutely, man. I say that to say if I could, who knows? It's still in October, right?
It's in October.
So it's the end of the year. Who knows? We might find ourselves that I feel like you're South African and you're in New York at the time.
Yeah.
Or can make that way. I think there's no reason for you not to.
Hopefully the tickets are affordable.
Yeah, hopefully the tickets are affordable.
There's also
the
a thing.
ticket price.
I think when affordable, we must just leave that thing outside. Tickets are the tickets.
Whether you buy it at the door,
the price.
whether you buy it at the door, you buy it from a scalper, or whether you buy.
We're past now. All these shows, Ticketmaster, seeing all these big artists. I think the last thing that you must think about is, I wonder if the tickets are gonna be affordable. Just leave that thing outside.
But you know us South Africans, dog, we like the golden circle, what.
Yes.
We can only afford the ones there at the top, there at the back.
The nose
we don't want that one. We want 10 in front. We want to see him.
You're gonna be up there. Hey, if you're in the bleachers there, you can come there. They've got screens. You're gonna see the homie.
We don't like that.
Imagine paying money just to look at a screen. I don't understand people who do that. Just pay the money and see him live.
Understand?
See his face in your face. But big ups to his team, man. Also just for having the vision. And yeah, man, South Africa is definitely behind you, Black Coffee, on that one. Also, somebody else who's in the States right now is BLXCKIE. He's performing out at South by Southwest. As we know, every year we always get like some South African artists who register to go out there and showcase at South by Southwest, which is basically like a weekend that happens in Texas, Austin,
Texas,
yeah. It's in Austin, Texas, in March every single year, where they showcase different artists and different facets of the entertainment industry, whether it's acting, whether it's art, whether it's digital, as well as music. So big ups to BLXCKIE's team for obviously getting him out there, and I hope that also kind of spreads his wings and gets him into different pockets and places where he can perform and collaborate as well.
Absolutely, man. Shout out BLXCKIE. He's been having a magnificent run locally. It's good to see him take it.
He performed at Holiday Club. How was that?
100%. He was the headline performer. It was very, very dope, man. He put together, the whole band situation.
Nice.
Very, very musical performance. It was very, very dope, man. At BLXCKIE, I feel like he set right nicely in that pocket of the audience out there, and the energy that he got from the crowd was all very, very positive. So yeah, shout out to him and his team. I'm happy to see them take their brand international.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what they do with it. South by Southwest and I performed in LA as well.
Yeah.
They landed there first, did a show before heading out to Austin. And this is the things that we say we want to see our artists do more and more of, right? And we must encourage people to have this type of energy instead of saying, who was there? What was going on? Did anyone care? You know what I mean? Because I remember even the South by Southwest thing, when KO went down there, people were looking at the crowd reaction. They're like, they're not jumping up. I'm like, sharp, they don't know Karakara.
Yes. What do you want?
But he's there.
Sharp. They're not dancing to Karakara in the way that they respond when we're back home. But he's still out there trying to push the music. You have to introduce it to people some way or another. You know what I'm saying?
But I think it's going to be different for BLXCKIE because
his sound is different.
his sound also it will sit very well in Houston because Houston is a very trappy place. So it's like he'll blend.
He'll blend very well as well. Also because he's got a collaboration with Earth Gang. So it will be dope for him to also kind of do that remix. People will be like, oh, okay, he's that kid on the remix. You know what I mean? So there is that way where he can kind of get himself into spaces and get people to kind of listen to his music.
Also,
so
Jaden Smith has been posting him a lot.
Yeah, he has. He posted him on his song.
Yeah, he posted his song.
That video of your skiing or something.
Yeah.
He played one of BLXCKIE's songs.
Some other video where he posted it when they were playing it in a club. Like they were in a little situation with his friends and they were playing the music.
Yeah.
That's
dope,
Absolutely.
man. And I'm also just appreciative that it's a hip hop artist that we can say shout out international.
Absolutely.
I mean, Piano, we love you, but whoa, give hip hop a chance.
Yeah, I mean, we want to see more and more of hip hop collaborations around the world, man.
Yeah, man.
'Cause I feel like I don't know what it is about us and hip hop and taking it international. But I guess it's something that everybody else around the world who's not from America struggles to export to America because it's so much of their own thing. So I think that's always, but I don't know, there's something there. When we have Nasty, of course, knocking on those doors, Def Jam, collaborations with the TIs and whatnot, spending time out there. trying to really break into it. Because when I see an artist out there break into it, whichever Noah broke into the American market.
But I think Blackie's also got a different type of sound, and that's why he might also kind of sit in a different space because he makes a lot of like local sounds and makes them a little bit more audible. And I think that is gonna work in his favor because he can sound American, but he can also sound very South African at the same time. And I think that also kind of works in his favor because then it's like it sounds familiar, but it's different. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. When he brings the Zulu vibe into the music, when he slows it down and gets more musical, you see his diversity. Well, I think it could very easily,
and all of that also kind of gives it some color.
Absolutely. He has enough texture to make people feel like, okay, this guy, he kind of sounds like he's not, but he is because I don't know what he's saying. Like even he's proposing Kwenze. You can hear the song and it has those melodies and those beats that sound. You hear a little bit of African in it, but also it feels very trappy at the same time. When you're like, this is not our language, though.
It's not our language, it's not our style, but we can feel.
But we can vibe with it. You know what I'm saying? And then you can do that, and then bring them in with the English tracks. That's where you start. There's the give and take you must always have with the American audience.
Very good.
Shout outs, man. All right, so talking about the music, we do have some brand new music, some brand new songs that dropped this past week. We do have a new one from Fifi Cooper featuring Lwa Ndlunkulu, and the track is called Ngeke. There is Youngster CPT's album that's also dropped this past week. We do have a new one from Sean Music featuring Maestro as well as Melo and Sleazy. The song is called Beba. Hey, tricky. And then we've also got one from Kilo SA featuring Monique Lewis, if I'm not mistaken. And the song is called Window. So we're gonna kick it off with the Fifi Cooper track first. What are your thoughts on the queen of Motswako coming back?
Hey, Fifi Cooper, son. Shout out my Maftown homegirl, Fifi Cooper. It's good to see her back. Dropping new music, and of course, she's on the show Love and Hip Hop as well. You know what I'm saying? So I guess this is all visibility is back on the rise. You know, she's trying to get busy and utilize all these opportunities coming to her. I thought the track started first as production. I really like the beat of the song. You know what I'm saying? The production of it and that hook, Ngeke, what she had got going on there. You know, mixing Motswako and then throwing in like a Zulu something there is always a very interesting mix. Of course, she's trying to include everybody and reach out. Hence the name of the track itself. You know, doesn't say. So I'm guessing that's very strategic on her part. But it's good to hear her back. The energy sounds dope. She sounds. As a Motswako artist, I've always thought Fifi Cooper is very dope. You know what I'm saying, on the raps. I'm interested to see what she does now in terms of like coming back with a lot more music. I feel like there's a great opportunity for her to have fun. You know what I mean? Like I've been telling, like I say a lot with the ladies because they get, I think, more harshly judged than the guys.
Always,
you know
always.
What I mean? So I think this is a great opportunity for her to have fun while she gets back into the swing of things, I think.
Yeah, I like the song. Firstly, I love the beats, but I just don't think she sits well on a drill beat.
Right.
Really? No. Okay.
It's like it's I don't know what it.
You want
like,
it to be
like
softer.
Saying, like women. We judged a lot, but like thing is, Fifi Cooper is an aggressive rapper kind of sort of.
Yeah.
But like I think she was too aggressive on this beat. But I like how she said though. Like I think she was just rapping. She raps too hard, but like I think like on the comeback, I think she needs to maybe sit on a pocket where she can be a little bit more familiar, so she can actually have a solid comeback.
Okay,
you understand? Because like right now, this is like.
But don't you think that that's something that you automatically fall into, especially when you hear a drill beat, you're gonna be like, okay, this is hard, so I have to come hard. It's like an automatic thing that you think of, especially when you're gonna jump on a beat like that, and that would be.
You can be sexy on a drill beat.
Can you?
Pop Smoke was sexy on the drill.
Oh, really now? Okay.
That was jiggy.
I guess he was a little bit smooth with it. And he rode the beat.
Pause.
He rode the beat in a very smooth way. So I get when you make the Pop Smoke example, I guess I understand.
So I thought she was gonna give us like when the song started, I was like, okay, Fifi Cooper. I know she can be on that vibe because like that's what I know or understand from Fifi Cooper.
I get that.
Because like I think she was giving us like it sounded like a freestyle more than anything.
Okay. Well, I dig the track. I do think, Fifi Cooper's also trying to show us a little bit of her, like, because she knows she can do the softer side. I think she was kind of challenging herself with a song like this. And I liked the feature that she also brought on Loa, because Loa's doing really well right now on the Rams. So also kind of, to kind of get her fans to support the song, I think was really smart as well from a strategy perspective. So big ups to Fifi, man. I want to hear more. She does say that this is the first single off of the album, so I want to hear when the album actually drops and what it's going to sound like. All right, so up next, we do have another tune as well from, as I mentioned, Sean Music. He's also featuring Maestro, Mellow and Sleazy on the tune. There's a whole host of other people as well, which I can't remember, but anyway. The name of the track is Bepa, so it's more of like a Bacardi,
Speaking of
Pitori.
Bacardi, I must issue an apology to the good people of Pretoria and
they
everywhere
came
else
at you.
around the country. I think we spoke when Vusima 5 Rand
Yeah.
passed away. I think we spoke a little bit about the genre of Bacardi.
Yes.
I think I compared it or even said it was a sub-genre of Amapiano.
Yeah.
And people in Pretoria were like, hey, my man, my man.
Sipo's
They
mentions were blowing up.
Very, very technical. Do your goddamn research before you open your I said, okay. So apologies to the people, the supporters of Bacardi everywhere around the country, especially in Pretoria, for saying that it was a subgenre of Amapiano. Clearly, I was the one in the wrong. Guys, not Kimotuli hip hop, but you know what I'm saying. I'm trying to show love and understand even the genres that aren't number one on my list. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we speak about Amapiano on this show. Anyway, getting back to Bacardi, which I hope is Bacardi. I could be wrong again. I don't know. It's too late now.
It's Bacardi.
We're here now.
I'm going to say any genre. I'm just going to say it's a track that's very Pretoria sounding.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's got that Bepa chant on it. So as you hear it, as soon as I heard it, even if you don't know anything, you're going to be like, Pretoria is involved here.
Yeah.
Immediately. So it does have that authentic Pretoria sound. I'm pretty sure the track is probably hot on the streets, that side, and probably across the country. Yeah, I thought the track was banging. It was that authentic Pretoria sound that I like, that I enjoy personally when it comes to, if I'm going to listen to Pretoria music, yeah, that's what I want to hear.
Vibe.
It sounds ratchet. You just know. You can already see the videos of everyone just absolutely
Even the dance
losing
moves,
it. You see
with
it?
the hands.
This cheek thing that's going on these days.
Yeah. Oh no, that one is wild. I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, the only thing that's stressing me, I won't lie, is the name of the song, because it's like, if I'm gonna back announce that on radio, what do you want me to say?
My sister, say the name of the song.
Say the name of it.
Bepa.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be blocked at the SABC.
BCC.
I'm not allowed to say that on national radio. So that's one thing I really implore artists to also think about when you're going to name your song. Please think about me, who needs to back announce, and how I need to maneuver around your song, because I can't say the actual name on radio.
Before the song was dropped, it was called Quantum Sound. They just put Quantum Sound underneath Bepa.
So then maybe that's what they're gonna say then
We're
when they
calling
back
it
announce. They'll
Quantum
say
Sound.
Quantum Sound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the I read something. The Bacardi scene also lost their pioneer DJ Pencil. I don't know if you guys know DJ Pencil.
Oh,
All right, yes, I saw.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, so he also passed on this weekend.
Condolences to DJ Pencil, and the family, and of course, and family and friends on that one. But hey, it's just a tough time right now. February, wow.
Crazy.
No, it's a dizzy time. But what do you think of the song?
I love the song.
Yeah.
I love the song. I hear it all the time.
Now that you told me that you're a dancer, I want to see you post a video of you dancing to Bepa.
I'm guessing you're a hip hop dancer.
I was a hip hop dancer.
What is your crew? What's the name of your crew?
But if you can
Snap
cramp,
fam.
if you can
Snap
cramp,
fam.
Yeah.
were you a cramper?
Yeah.
You see, if you can cramp, you can Bepa. Come on. Come on.
Okay. It's a
Because you need to
challenge.
move your body in a certain way to cramp.
It's like a tick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same similar movement.
Yeah. I want to see a video next week, Sean.
Shine
Danko.
Look hard enough. We'll find probably something on the internet. My Facebook. There's a group that everyone forgot the password to that you can't delete.
Yeah, that's the one. The page. I can't delete that thing. Dog.
No, I'm also involved in some things on Facebook that no one must ever find. We don't know the passwords to these things. But when the public finds out, I'll have some questions, some things to
And it's
answer.
right there under my profile. It's tag. I can't untag the thing. It's like right there. dog. It's like, man.
Oh goodness. I think it's a fun song as well. I'm enjoying Bacardi and the different energy it's bringing to Pretoria. I love the fact that it's also a very regional sound that's kind of translating into the rest of the country. It's going to take a while for it to get to like deeper pockets, but I like how creative and the charisma and the color that it brings to the music industry. So as ratchet as you are, we like you to be that ratchet, because they said Migwantia Pitoria, all the music is coming through from Pitoria. Let's rock. Let's just do it. I appreciate it. Let's do it. All right. Next up on the tunes, we do have Kiddo SA, who is featuring Monique Lewis on the track, and it's called Window.
Yeah, I thought the track was cool. I don't think it's the hottest track that I've heard this week or in a while. But the track was cool. He was doing some nice things there. I'm interested to hear more. I haven't heard a lot from Kiddo, so I'm interested to hear what his actual vibe is here. Some of these other tracks where he's rapping, but I think the track is it's cool.
I struggled a little bit to hear Monique's part, and I think I had to listen to it like 3 times to be like, oh, there she is, because she only had like 2 lines in the beginning or in the middle of the song. But I liked her approach to it as well. She didn't really come on too hard. She had like a little bit of like a soft, sultry type of energy on the song. So I just wanted something longer than the 2 lines in that little portion. But the rest of the song is dope. He's got good energy. I like Kiddo CSA as a rapper. I want to hear more from him. I want to hear versatility, because he's starting to sound the same for me. But this is not a bad song. But I do want to hear a little bit more so that I can hear the growth in him as an artist.
Yeah, same. I also want to hear more from him, because like going from his SoundCloud days into this is pretty much still the same sound, So yeah, but I actually like the song, but the song is kind of short though.
Yeah,
it is a very short song.
We don't hear Monique.
Yeah,
like I think they cut the song kind of very short.
Yeah. All right, so coming up also we do have Youngster CPT dropped a 12-track album, Suffer for Beauty. Firstly, Youngster CPT, thank you for only giving us 12 songs and not 24, because there's too much happening in the world right now, my brother. I know you wanted to. I know it's possible for you to do that. I know you have the energy to give us 24, but you said, you know what, let me be nice to the people and say 12. Thank you very much. From me personally. There's a couple of tracks on there that have obviously been doing really well right now. Obviously a firm favorite that I think we had also listened to as well was Benny McCarthy. Just a little bit of a shout out to the homie, to saying from a player to a coach. Say shout outs there to the brothers. I like that he's got a lot of like drill samples coming through on the album. He's definitely playing around with different sounds as well. So it's nice to see the versatility coming through from Youngster.
Absolutely, man. So far, I'm actually digging the project. We spoke about Benny McCarthy a couple of weeks ago on the show.
Yeah.
We were digging that jam. And there's one jam that I've, I don't know, I can say move closer to on the album so far, which is catchy as well. And he's rapping very well. Another track that he dropped before Benny McCarthy that we spoke about when we had Shama as a guest on the show, and we were talking about how he was rapping behind the beat and it wasn't sound like. Now we were talking about, I was like, you know what, I think there's a project coming and he's gonna give us and satisfy us in certain ways in terms of like how he sounds. Because of course when Youngster is in his bag and he's flowing, you know what I'm saying, he's very, very good at that, and he can sound very, very dope on the track, and he says a lot. So there's a lot happening in terms of like what he's saying in this album. I love it so far. It's sounding very dope. He's collaborating with his long-time producer who's produced for many other Cape Town guys like Bravo LaRue, Abu D Koala. So I'm very, very happy to see that collaboration, to see where they're going. These wrap-up producer collaborations, I guess, are very mindful projects. You know what I'm saying? Where you kind of go in, it's like Hit Boy and Nas. You know what I'm saying? It's a Nas joint, but it's very like, it's me and you on a creative path together, versus me having something to say and then just working with producers to put music out there. So yeah, very, very dope to see that, and shout out to Shay as well.
Yeah, I'm also glad like also went back to Shane, because like that's his sound, because like the whole rapper relationship vibe is dope. Like how you guys mentioned on the other show that the relationship between Aries and what's his producer?
And Mash Beats.
Yeah. You know, that relationship was dope. So like when they come together, it's like they make magic. And instead of like when he goes with another producer, it's like you can hear like there's a little bit of sluggishness there in the song. But like when they together, because they understand each other like 100%. So also when you listen to this Youngster album, like you can hear like where his pocket is, where like when you sing rap behind the beat, like his West Side sound that he has. And then it goes all the way into the album. It keeps building up all the way to the trap sound that is there. So like it's a nice build up. It's a good put together project.
That's dope, man. I mean, look, we love Youngster CPT here, so I think it's very evident every time we talk about him, we're just like shout out. But my biggest shout out is thank you for 12 and not 24. Like, I really need you to know that I appreciate that a lot.
Especially because Youngster's probably sitting on like 50 albums.
Exactly. He's got like he's got like 100 songs sitting in the on his laptop right now. All right. So again, thank you so much for joining us today on the POPcast. Thank you to our guest, Sean Cross. Where can people catch you on the streets? Where can they follow you on the socials?
On all social media, it's I am Sean Cross. In the streets, you always find me in the south or in the north.
Sometimes.
In Cape Town, or in Durban. Sometimes. But yeah, I'm always around. Like, yeah. Just find me on social media at I am Sean Cross. That's SEANKROSS.
KROSS. And a big ups to our venue for today, Disofeng in Middlelands. Come through, check it out. We're about to have a meal right now because we ordered pre. So we're about to enjoy and make sure that we are settled in this place. But the food is really awesome, as mentioned. There's also just a lot that's happening here at Disofeng. Whether you want a vibe, whether you want a haircut, whether you want a BNP, there's a lot. There's something for everybody. Come through and check it out here in the South.
Shout out, man, to everybody watching out there, supporting still. Liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the content. Shout out Sean Cross for joining us this week. It's been dope. And yeah, you guys stay tuned to our channel, of course. And I think we got some more, some people tweeting and asking us when the next Pop Radio episodes are coming up. I think in the next few weeks, we're probably going to have some in the tuck for you. And of course, let us know who you want to see on Pop Radio in the next coming weeks or months so we can get them on the show and have a little conversation with them. But from us, be nice.
Danko.